So to yoke or to not yoke? That has been a question and the topic of a lot of controversy with the Model S and X launching with a yoke steering wheel. The Model 3 and Y owners are left wanting it so badly, and this has stirred up third-party manufacturers from making yoke steering wheels. Now, I'm not a fan of the yoke steering wheel by the aftermarket companies because they're quite a bit different from the OEM. And that's because you have to continue to use the core steering wheel. So you're taking the default steering wheel and converting it into a yoke, which isn't exactly like the way the Model S and X yoke steering wheel is. So I decided to customize my steering wheel, but I didn't go with a yoke. Let me show you what I did. So recently, a company by the name of PimpMyEV reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to pimp my steering wheel. And I said, sure, why not?
So you want to be a player, but your wheels ain't flying. You got to hit us up to get a pimped out ride.
Now, PimpMyEV has a plethora of accessories and things for your Tesla. Check them out. They've got tons of stuff and a lot of carbon fiber stuff, but they approached me about a steering wheel. And while they have a yoke design, I opted for another design that's not so much the yoke. It's more traditional, but gives it a very customized look. Now, what I love about their option is I got to customize everything from the material to the stitching to the color and so forth. I'll walk you through the process, but that's just not for me, but for anyone going to their site. If you check out PimpMyEV and you check out their steering wheels, there's a lot of options that you have. Now, with them, you can choose your steering wheel. You can get a steering wheel for your Model 3 or your Model Y. Then you can actually customize the top trim of the steering wheel. You could choose leather grip options, stitching, and then you get to choose the shape of your wheel. So you can go with the OEM basic circular design, looks exactly like your current steering wheel, or you can go with a yoke design, or you can go with what's called the thick lifted sides, which gives you just a little bit more grip around the sides, and that's the one that I opted for. I chose dry carbon fiber along with a white trim. I wrapped the sides with Alcantara, and then I put a white stripe up at the top. For stitching, I think I went with a black or an OEM gray. I chose to do that instead of the white because I didn't want it to get dirty as your hands are always touching there, and that's why I avoided the light colors. Now, just to give you an idea on timing, I placed my order on June 29th, and I received it on August 6th. So it was a little bit over a month, so it did take some time to get my steering wheel, but I finally got it. Let me show you. Now, what's really cool about through this whole process, I would get these emails on like applying the stitching or, cleaning it up and just let me know. It was kind of like a Build-A-Bear. Like I knew exactly where my wheel was in its process. But in any case, here is the wheel. It's awesome, right? Like I put the white stripe here. I've got the white trim here, dry carbon fiber all around, some nice Alcantara right here. It's really nice, and it's an official Tesla wheel, so you can see that in here. And so all that needs to be done is pop out your old airbag, take out 3 bolts, remove the old steering wheel, pop in the new steering wheel, and pop back in the airbag. So it should be easy. Now, I've never done this before, so I'm going to take it over to a buddy of mine who has done this before. We'll use his help, and that way you know how to do it in case you want to order a custom wheel. So the same way that I curated my steering wheel based on my likes and dislikes is the same way that Cellars customizes wine for you. If you're like me, picking out wine is the worst and the hardest thing ever. I don't know anything about flavors and notes and tastes or brands or anything of that sort, and that's where Cellars, today's sponsor, comes in. Well, they make the process super easy. They have a simple online quiz that you go on and answer questions about what you like, what you dislike, your flavors and notes and stuff. And then what they'll do is they'll take all of that and curate a box of wine, specially curated to what you will like. And so that's what I've done here. They went out and had me take the quiz. I've got 4 wines here. I'm going to taste one right now and let you know my thoughts. We're going to start with this Sprig and Rosé. What's cool is that every wine comes with a card that tells you about the notes and what to pair it with, where it's from, what temperature to serve it at, and so forth. So let's try this wine out. Okay, right off the bat, it smells awesome, and I can already tell I'm probably going to be a big fan. Oh yeah, sweet, tartful, just how I like it. I do like my wine a little fruity, and that's exactly what it is. So super exciting that they can figure that out just on this quiz that they have. If you're interested in checking out Bright Cellars and getting some custom wine for you, I'll put a link down in the description below for 60% off your first box of 4. Check them out. Now let's get back into my custom wheel. Yo, bro.
Hey, let's test the rod.
Perry,
What's up?
can you help me install this?
Oh yeah, of course. Let's go.
Cool. Okay, if you don't already know, this is Perry, aka Tesla DIY. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Perry's you got a custom steering wheel too, right?
Yeah, I do.
Can I see yours?
Yeah.
Ooh, nice red stitching. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is power off the car. Under safety and security, you'll find power off, and just power off the car. Now, once you've powered down the car, you want to go ahead and make sure you physically cut the power off. And in the rear passenger seat, if you unclip the front and lift it up, you can actually unplug the high voltage cable there. It's pretty easy little clamp switch there. Just lift it up and release that. Next, you want to disconnect the negative terminal on the 12-volt battery, and that's fairly easy, just like that. Now that all the power has been cut, we can first start the removal of the steering wheel by removing the airbag. There are 2 holes on the bottom right and the bottom left of the steering wheel. You'll need a little tool to push in there, but they're basically just releasing some tension springs that hold the airbag. If you push it in on both sides, you will see the airbag will just basically release. Not to be worried, it's not going to explode in your face, but it releases it, and then don't forget to unplug it behind. Now there's a 10 millimeter hex bolt that holds the steering wheel onto the column. So what's cool about PimpMyEV is they give you the tool needed, or the bit needed. You just need to provide your impact to release it. Once you've loosened the bolt, the steering wheel should just pop off. Just give it a little force there, and then don't rip it right off because there is a plug. So you want to release the plug so that way the steering wheel can come off completely. Okay, so we've got the OEM on the right and the aftermarket on the left here. I just want to show you some differences between the two. This is about 13 3/4 inches for the width, and then on the OEM, I believe it's exactly the same. Yep. Let's check the height. We're looking at also about 13 3/4. Check the height here, about 13.5, so maybe just a little bit shorter. But let's check the thickness on these guys. So we're looking at 4 3/4 for the top. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, this is really thin. Actually, only a little bit. It's 4.5. So only about a 1/4 inch more. I think we're going to find the biggest difference here on the side, where it is definitely thicker. So here we're looking at about 5 inches right underneath here. And then when we go over here, since here it doesn't change, we're at about 4.5. So overall, about anywhere from a 1/4 to a 1/2 inch more on the new steering wheel. But it looks awesome, and it's slick, and it's custom, and it's got Alcantara and dry carbon and white, and yeah, let's get it put in. Okay, so there's still one more thing, and that's the guts of your wheel. You'll see the new wheel on the left doesn't have the guts. So first you have to release the tension springs. These are the springs that allow you to honk your horn. After you've released that, that will give you access to 3 screws. You can take those out, and then once those are released, you can then release the trim from your existing wheel. Once that trim is released, you have access to the back of it, which is all the guts, and you can remove that and transplant it into your new wheel. Once the wiring and guts have been transferred over, this is what your new wheel will look like. It's ready for install. Okay, so now we've got everything transferred over. The new wheel is ready to be placed on. everything but the airbag, so we can place it onto the steering column. And there's really only one way to put it on. Obviously, don't forget to plug in your connector. And you should feel it get on the grooves once you get it in there. And then it just needs to get onto the teeth and match up on there. And it can only go one way, so you won't be off center. That's what's really cool about the Tesla wheel. And then once you kind of feel it grip there and get it on, the bolt will do the rest when you tighten the bolt, and it will just suck it in. And of course, if you're still unsure about the tightening of your steering wheel, it's 80 Newton meters. So use a proper torque wrench and make sure that you are torquing it to that setting. All right, last step before we get up and running, plug back in your airbag and just pop that sucker in, line up those notches, and don't worry, it will not explode in your face. You're good to go. Okay, so now the steering wheel's all in. All you gotta do is plug back in the power, and that's the 12 volt in the front, and then the plug right behind the passenger seat. And let me show you how. Yeah, make sure you don't close the door when you're inside it, because the power is out, and then you'll be locked out. Perry, can you plug in the power for me?
Oh, hell no. I'm closing this door too.
Oh, no! All right, let's get a first peek at this wheel. Ooh, nice. I really do like these side grips. They're soft, but then I like these contours. It just gives you a lot to like grip onto, hold, like this, just the different shapes here. And it's got a far more aggressive look. Oh wait, the horn? Yep, still works. Actually, I feel it works a little bit better than before. Yeah, it looks good. It looks sporty, and I love the white trim because it goes with my white dashboard. And yeah, this is pretty good. Oh, and look, they got the upgraded wheels, scroll wheels. These are the new wheels that are in the new Model 3 and Ys, where the scroll wheel is actually like a titanium color, and mine was like all black, so it was the older version. But yeah, I'm very pleased, very happy with this. Now I'm gonna go take this for a drive. Okay, so overall, I really like the wheel. I like its grip and its feel, and the Alcantara feels really nice. Now, of course, the Alcantara tends to pick up a little lint, but overall, it's not bad. The dry carbon fiber is a bit slippery, but I kind of like the change in fabric and the change in like grippy and soft and slick throughout the wheel, just to kind of give my hands something to hold that's different and not boring. Now, if you guys want to check that out, I'll put a link to PimpMyEV down below, and you guys can check them out. I'll also include a discount code down below that you can use towards your steering wheel. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like the wheel that I picked? Would you change out your wheel and do a custom wheel? I'm interested. I'll probably keep mine in. It's cool. I like it. And if not, I can always go back to OEM. Not a big deal. All right, cool. We're all wrapped up. Perry, thanks for your help on that one.
Oh yeah, anytime.
If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, and if you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing. And if you want to know like every single detail on this install and you want to do your own, I'll put a link to Perry's channel and his video. He did a full install on this down to all the details, so check him out. And yeah, I think it's time to do some FSD beta testing with the new wheel, so I'll catch you guys next time.